the rough cut, the total compilation, without the edit, just all the scenes that we'd shot. You know. He's bigger than me now. I can't stop it.
I can't believe we don't have hair anymore, the two of us.
Frightening. Where was I? I don't have Alzheimer's, I have half-himers.
There we go. Happy birthday. Right this way. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go. The microphones should all be on.
Mic drop. Okay, hey everybody. Good morning, afternoon. What the hell is it?
There you go.
Is it working?
Is it? Yeah, I think we're all good.
Can you hear us?
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
And I believe happy birthday. I really hate to ruin the surprise, but
56, but who's counting, right? Thank you. Glad to be alive.
Yeah, and it's nice to have you back.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
Yep, you'll need your coat off today. It's a little toasty in here today.
Yeah, I know. I just can't.
Well, welcome.
Thank you so much.
First time to the Pittsburgh area for you guys?
No, I came here many years ago for the Mario Lemieux golf tournament.
Oh, nice.
And I shot 180. So I won.
First time in Pittsburgh?
I've been here.
I've been here before. You've been here?
Yeah, I did Sweet Charity here. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well, first off, I have some softball questions for you, and then I'm sure the audience has a lot of more deep delving questions about one of the most amazing films to grow up with. I gotta ask about the audition process. Did you know what you were making? Did you expect this to happen? What exactly was the audition like? We'll start with Molly.
I did not audition because I had done 16 Candles with John along with Michael. So he asked me to do The Breakfast Club I think like right at the end of 16 Candles.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you think when you first read the script?
I loved it. I thought it was great. Originally, he wanted me to do Allison,
Right.
and I wanted to do Claire, who was named Kathy originally in the script, and then I changed the name to Claire, and then Allie got involved, and which was a good thing because she is amazing in the movie. You're my favorite.
Molly's one of my best friends, so of course she's going to say
We're sisters.
something.
We're basically sisters. Did you know that?
So
I had the same situation. Unfortunately, I got 16 Candles, and then I remember I was actually at home living with my parents, as you do when you're 16. And I remember getting a call from John, and he told me on the phone call that we were going to start this other project. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, Molly, wasn't it originally planned to be the first film?
Yeah, The Breakfast Club originally was going to be
the first film that John made. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on it, thank you.
Yeah, The Breakfast Club originally was going to be filmed first with, I believe, Joan Cusack was going to play Allison, and John Cusack was going to play John Bender. I don't know who was going to play my character. But then he wrote 16 Candles over July 4th weekend, because that's what John Hughes did. He wrote movies in 2 days. And gave it to the studio, and they said, "Oh, we love that. We want to do that first." And so we ended up doing 16 Candles first.
Mm-hmm. Allie, did you have to audition, or?
I remember John wanted me to come and meet him to talk about Allison. I didn't have to do a sort of normal audition for it. He just wanted to have a conversation. And then I guess he thought about it for a while and called me and said, go to sleep tonight and wake up in the morning as Allison. Awesome. That's how it went.
How much of yourselves did you put into your role? How much of your personality kind of you think shone through in your character?
Who, me or Mom?
All of you, but since you're making eye contact with me.
A lot. I felt like I was trying to take how I felt most of the time on the inside and put it on the outside for Allison, including the whole thing about how she looked.
I love the dandruff and the Captain Crunch. Anybody remember the dandruff and the Captain Crunch? Over the drawing?
The glamour Oh, the glamour.
Showbiz. No, I think like I was more Farmer Ted myself. I was never really a good student, nor was I really in high school much. So I was a goofy kid, and yeah, I guess I've always felt more Farmer Ted-ish, and I guess I still do. Judd? I've been always starting shit. No, I'm kidding.
I went to high school 6 days a week anyway. I did. I went to a prep school in New Hampshire, and we went to school 6 days a week. If you did anything wrong, you got Sunday study, which meant you had 13 days of school in a row. You only really did that once. And then you blamed everyone else for things. So that was my rehearsal.
And my character of Claire was, I don't think, anything like me, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do it. So, yeah, it was more like my sister. My sister was the popular one in school. So I wanted to play the popular one.
And I'll stay with you. At what point did you all know you were going to be making such an amazing film, that it was going to make such an impact and so many people were going to be able to connect with it?
I mean, I loved it. I loved the script, and I loved the process of making it. And I mean, I had no idea that we would be sitting here 40 years later talking about it. but I loved making it.
Yeah, I'm amazed by it too. I mean, I'm just tripped out that we have 40-year-old movies. It's incredible. It's really... Puberty was hard enough, but middle age is... I know we did something special. You know, John always carved out time for us to rehearse, and really, it was a great and very important time for us. We got to know each other. We would talk about the work. He was really great, and he was also very collaborative, always. You know, he was always right there to discuss it with you. You know, and what are your thoughts?
Look, Emilio and I are at John's house during the rehearsal process, and he tells us he wrote The Breakfast Club in a weekend, the first draft. And at the same time, Emilio and I both said, first draft, how many drafts do you have? He said he had 4 previous to the shooting draft. We asked, can we see those? And
he had way more than 4. He had like a stack
he brought them out to me and Emilio and said, here. And we said, can we read those? And for the next 4 hours, we read all 4 scripts. And Emilio's monologue about taping the guy's butt together was not in the shooting draft. It was in an earlier draft. And after we read them, Emilio says to John, can I use this monologue instead? I like this one better. He says, of course. I say, I like some exchanges between Molly and I in the car. Something about the Calvins rolled up.
But Judd, it wasn't just you and Emilio. He brought all of the scripts to our rehearsal, and we all went through them.
But that was after he told us about the first draft there, because you guys knew about his writing style. We didn't.
This is like the sexual tension between them in the movie, isn't it? Not for nothing, but... And we sent this to Emilio yesterday in a photo. He loved it.
Where's Emilio? #, where's Emilio?
He's a mighty duck. He doesn't have time.
Your sign came in handy.
I'm going to sit down now. Sorry, guys.
So being...
I'm always starting shit. I'm sorry.
So being that there was so much script, I've heard that the original first print of the film was 150 minutes long.
No. The rough cut, the total compilation, without the edit, just all the scenes that we'd shot. You know, he's bigger than me now. I can't stop it.
I can't believe we don't have hair anymore, the two of us.
Frightening. Where was I? I don't have Alzheimer's. I have half-Heimers.
The original director's cut. How long was it?
Well, the D.D. Allen, the great editor we had, the compilation was 4.5 hours long. John shows Emilio and I this rough cut, no music, no color timing, and it is like we're in detention watching this thing. It's just endless, and it's just the two of us. John's not there. The movie ends, no credits, and we're exhausted, and Emilio goes, it's unreleasable. And I go, well, they're gonna cut it and put music in it. And he goes, no, they're not. And I'm like, they're not? And he goes, you're an idiot. Yes, I am. So then at the screening, like 10 months later, it's hard to watch it because you see yourself from weird angles. You don't even know if it's you or not. You sound freaky. And I'm starting to get a little nauseous about halfway in the movie. And I leave my seat and go into the men's room to throw up. Before I get into the stall, I'm hearing someone throwing up in the next stall. It was Emilio. So
I had no idea you guys had bulimia. I had no idea. I always thought they ate the meals. I had no.
And so it was crazy. So the original question, did we know what it is that we had there? Emilio and I didn't, for sure. It was like, we hope it's successful. And you shoot every movie as if it's going to be successful, but you don't know. We didn't necessarily have too much support from the studio. This was a kids' movie that nothing happens in. What do you mean nothing happens in it? No chase scenes, no boobs. So it's like...
Yeah, one of the reasons why John didn't really like rewriting stuff very much was because he would get feedback from the studio, and a lot of the feedback was like, "Oh, we need to have, you know, a naked teacher, like in
female teacher,
yeah, female teacher." There was, you know, and actually they hired an actress, and I'm sorry to whoever, I don't remember her name, but she came and she filmed. There was supposed to be a scene where Vernon was spying on this, you know. It was just completely gratuitous.
She got a boob job. She's fine.
Michael.
I think her name was Sofia Vergara. Wasn't she?
There's no such thing as fake boobs. Anyway, earmuffs, kids. We got to keep this PG. Sorry.
Also, the janitor was originally cast as Rick Moranis, who's great, and he came and he filmed, but Rick decided that he wanted to play it as a Russian immigrant. And John said, okay, yeah, sure. And they got him a costume, and he had this big fur hat and everything, and then they filmed for 2 days, and John was like, actually, no. And then John Kapelos came in.
Who's great. And by the way, I just have to add, he was the one who played your sister's husband in 16 Candles.
That's right.
Remember? You do shots?
Yeah.
Remember that one? That guy. Anyway, he's the janitor.
Yeah.
Sorry to interject.
That's right, John Kapelos.
He and my ADD, sorry.
So I just have a couple more questions, then we're going to get to the audience question. What was the premiere like of this film? Do you remember anything about the premiere, seeing it for the first time? The big...
I don't know what I ate for dinner last night. 40 years ago, premiere.
Did we have a premiere?
No, it was fun. We did have one, right, guys?
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
I think it was at the DGA.
I remember a screening.
Yeah, Director's Guild.
And I remember Chrissy Hines was there.
Sean
And,
Penn was there. It was cool.
Yeah, at the screening, but I don't actually remember a premiere.
No, well, it was like a DGA, like a Hollywood type.
Yeah, it was like a Hollywood premiere, but it wasn't like a premiere with a red carpet. But we didn't really have those as much when we were growing up.
That's how old we are. Pre-red
It's kind of like
carpets.
a new thing, yeah.
And also, you know, while we were shooting Breakfast Club, 16 Candles was released.
Right.
So nothing that Hughes had directed had been seen by anyone when we began shooting Breakfast Club. So he's an unknown quantity still. And then that movie comes out while we're shooting, and they roll in a TV set, and they're going to show the Siskel and Ebert review while we're on the set shooting. So we kind of got broken up into 3 camps. Hughes alone, watching this review. The 2 of you guys.
I think we were in school, probably.
Really, we were in school?
I don't remember any of this shit, but it's fascinating. I really don't. I love your memory. I'm a little older.
I remember going to a screening of 16 Candles while we were shooting the Breakfast Club.
Yes, in Chicago.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And I also remember it coming out, and 16 Candles wasn't really a hit when it came out.
But it was reviewed well by those 2 guys.
Really?
Because Ebert came to the set, which was weird.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right,
I remember.
You were here while we're
Thanks to all the nice
This is
people here in
like
Pittsburgh. I made more money this weekend than I did on 16
Candles. You know, when you're like your family, your brother remembers one thing, and your sister remembers something else.
True story. I'm sorry, guys. I digress.
And my last question, this is kind of obvious, being that it was such a successful film, was there much talk of a sequel?
No. I never heard talk. I mean, John didn't really want sequels, and he didn't want remakes.
And also, you know, people would ask that a lot over the years. When are they going to do a remake? When are they going to do a sequel? What do you think happened to them on Monday? What's going to happen to them now that you guys are old? What happened? It's like, without Hughes, there's no chance, really.
Yeah.
Any of it. I mean, when he passed away, that was a huge loss. Because that, you know, before John Hughes, people thought of a term like kids movie was a negative thing. When are they going to do a real movie, an adult movie? And Hughes was the first filmmaker to be able to look at someone who was young and not see them as less. And that was very important. And Breakfast Club was very instrumental in that. And this is for Hughes, it's not us. It's not. Most of what works in the Breakfast Club works because it's a great script and Hughes gave us time to rehearse. Most movies you don't get time to rehearse. They think a read-through is rehearsal, let's start shooting now. And you get two-dimensional work by really good actors, but they can't, you can't get blood from a stone. And Hughes knew that implicitly and gave us incredible freedom.
We had like 2 or 3. I remember he carved out, I think, 3 weeks rehearsal, and then we ended up just doing 2 weeks. And I felt like after...
He said we're ready.
Yeah, we were ready after 2 weeks.
And we got to, and Hughes set up a school, a high school, that we could go to if we wanted to go there. These two couldn't because they were in touring anyway.
I did. We did. Yeah. We went.
But you
with
went,
Emilio.
You went briefly, right? Because you said you hated high school and you remember
I was miserable in high school, so we went just for a little.
And the school had a freak hall and a jock hall. So Emilio and I go to our halls, and he lasted not long because the Outsiders had come out. So we know who you are. You're not a student here. No one knew me from Adam.
And I went from high school in the city to a high school in Chicago. It was the same shit for me. Oh, I'm sorry.
It was kind of torture, though, because I had so much fun on set, but as a minor, I was required to go to school 3 hours a day. 16 Candles was filmed over the summer, so I didn't have to be in school, but during Breakfast Club, Michael and I, whenever we weren't shooting, we had to go. But luckily, we had a great teacher, Irene Brafstein. Yeah, so she made it bearable.
So all the work in the movie, when you see close coverage of Allie or Emilio or I, we're doing it to an X on a matte box while they're in school.
Let's get some questions from the audience. I know you guys have been waiting. Let's do this.
All right, and let's please keep it to one question per person. And kind of skip the personal stuff. You can actually talk to them at their table.
I will say, though, Don't You Forget About Me will be played at my funeral. Just saying. A little more. Other than having children, this is the best moment of my life. I just want to ask, what was your favorite scene to film in that film? What was your favorite part for each of you?
Definitely not the dancing scene.
Come on, let's all do the Molly Ringwald.
The dancing scene, yeah.
It's just not the same, right?
What?
Dorkenheimer was working on the letter down below. I didn't know what the hell I was doing over here. Anyway.
What was everyone's favorite scene to film?
The kiss.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Between me and Mike.
I think the scene in the back of when we got to that part. The long, intense scene in the back.
The really
of the library.
intense. Well, that was really hard for me because they filmed it around, and it took 2 days to film, and everybody had pretty long monologues, and I had one too that ended up being cut. But by the time it got to me, it was like the end of the second day, and you guys were just done. And just laughed through the whole thing, and I was supposed to be like super emotional, and they were just, that happens. But yeah, that scene was cool. Yeah.
What's yours,
I love that scene in the back of the library, and one of the most wonderful days was, do you remember this, when Gleason was there, and it was just too funny with the screw. Do you know what I'm talking about?
When Emilio fell over the magazine.
Oh my God, that was so funny. It was so funny. I had to keep that hood with my head on the desk with the hood over because I was really laughing so hard. Emilio was so funny in that scene.
And also Paul Gleason did stuff that we didn't see because the teachers alone shooting all that stuff in the hallways. We're in the room supposedly, and we're not there watching when they're shooting that. So the first time I see the movie, I see Paul doing all this crazy, really funny, great stuff, looking at his reflection in the fire extinguisher glass, Haga Naga, and it's all this stuff. It's like, he was incredible. I mean, I might have tortured him a little, but he was great to work with, and he did wonderful stuff in the movie that we didn't even know.
For me, it's either the elephantitis of the nuts scene or...
I like that too.
I also like when we pull all the stuff out of the purses and everything's revealed.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that was really
tampon
fun.
and the ID.
What did you say
and-
about the, like, this ID makes you how old? What did Emilio say about?
I think I remember ad-libbing. He goes, why do you have an ID? So I can vote. And that, like, I thought that was funny, yeah. And then getting high, which we weren't.
We were not.
weren't.
No, we weren't.
No, we weren't.
No.
What was that shit, by the way? Anyway.
I don't remember.
And now it was tobacco.
Thank you. Next question.
Thank you. He's like, thank you very much.
Hi. Just really quickly, I danced to Don't You Forget About Me with my dad at my wedding, so that's how
that's
great this
beautiful.
is.
Oh, that's awesome.
But my question is for Judd. Do you have the punchline to your joke?
No.
Please, tell me.
Great question.
In the script, Bender has no lines. He's just crawling through the roof and then falls through. So we shoot that, and I say to John, how about if I'm telling a joke, and before I get to the punchline, I fall through? He says, okay, and then Michael, Emilio, and I, and John spend about 15 minutes trying to come up with a joke, the punchline of which is, I forgot my pencil, which we'd already shot, which is when I fall through the roof and I walk into the group. We can't come up with any joke that has that as a punchline. So I say, well, I'll just, right before the punchline, I'll fall through the roof. And he goes, okay, we'll try it. First take, I use every profanity I could think of. It's just like, it's only swear words. And Hughes goes, cut. No, we lose our rating. That's not going to work. And I go, that one was for me. Can I do one more? And he goes, one more and that's it. And so I just told the joke. I made it up. All those elements and jokes, dog, salami, bar, blonde, whatever. There is no punchline. I'm sorry. It's just the joke.
All right, kids, for you millennials out there, that's way pre-woke.
How's everybody doing back there? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Go Pens. Go Steelers. Pirates.
All right, so this is for Judd. Thank you all for being here. But Judd, I loved you as Nick Peretti in New Jack City. Do you have
Thank
any
you.
behind-the-scenes stories or anything you could share?
Ice-T is a great guy. A great guy. Incredibly legitimate, really nice to his fans, a lot smarter than people think, served in the U.S. Army, was a ranger. I asked him, why were you a ranger? He goes, to get the black beret. I go, you can buy a black beret. He goes, not this one. Good guy.
Hi, my question's for Michael. Since you were much younger than Emilio and Judd, did they prank you a lot?
No, but Molly and I would go back to our room and do homework at night, and these guys would go out and have a beer. So I was always like,
We were working 6 days a week. So yeah, I got one night off, Saturday night. These guys aren't going with us. They're 17 years old. Allie's not going to go out with us. So me and Emilio, like the enemies, we're going out on Saturday night. 1984 Chicago. We can't find a single place that'll let both of us in. They don't like my boots. They don't like his basketball shoes. We end up at a place called the Jazz Bowls downstairs. They didn't care what we wore. The fact that we had clothes on was enough. And we would go out on Saturday nights for like as long as we could and then drive back to work, sort of. Yeah.
Hi, thank you guys for being here so much.
thank you all for being here.
For sure.
Thank you.
So I was a little bit of a rebellious teenager and in high school, and now I'm a high school teacher. And so
Serves you right, doesn't it?
It does, it does. And I remember, I love your story, Judd, about how you were getting ready for the role and you were going to get ready to throw up. So I remember my first day as a teacher. I'm driving to school. I'm thinking, these kids are going to eat me alive, you know? And so I'm dry heaving on the way to my first day of class. And it was great, actually. But anyway, thank you.
How old were the kids that you were teaching your first day?
How old? They're all high school, so 9 through 12. I teach all grades.
So they'll make fun of you.
Let's give it up for all the teachers out there. Woo! Raising other people's kids all day. You don't know how hard that shit is.
Right. But
Do you have to swear so much?
I'm sorry.
But they're
I've
great.
never been PG.
So I was thinking of you guys actually going into my first day of teaching, thinking of the Breakfast Club story. But anyway, my quick question was your acting styles. When you were then and now, how do you prepare for a role? Is there certain things you like to do when you're preparing? Has that changed or evolved over the years? So thanks again.
You take it. I think it depends on the role, really. You know, there's certain roles that you just kind of know instinctively, just, you know, how they're written, it all clicks. And then there's other roles, maybe there's an accent, maybe there's a job that you want to know more about. You know, it really just kind of depends. for that. I mean, that's my situation.
Yeah, I really spend time I need to have the feeling for who the person is, just how they feel inside. So that's a very quiet, internal kind of thing. It's hard to describe. Yeah.
And I just ask Emilio what I should do in a scene, and he tells me.
I think for me, it has evolved over the years. I think I had to become an actor. A lot of people ask me, like, why haven't I done as many comedies over the years? But it wasn't like a conscious effort. I just had to go to work. And so I wanted to do more comedy. But for me, it does change, I think, with every part. Sometimes you kind of want to disappear from people away and keep a little distance. And I think that's only if it's a dramatic piece to, protect your concentration in some way. And then other times when you're doing a comedy, like I was on the Goldbergs a couple years ago for a few years. Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. And so when you're doing a comedy, I think it's a looser approach. So I agree with you, Molly. I think it's depending on the job and what you have to work with.
And also, I'd heard a story long ago that Alec Guinness, the great English actor, used to play chess on the set because it would keep his mind sharp, but his body wouldn't get tired. So what I tend to do is I find a book to read on the set with all that downtime and to have it be about subject matter that is the opposite of the character I'm playing. So I did a horrible story about a guy that kidnaps his own daughter and keeps her in the basement for 24 years. And so it's like, yeah, clap for that. That's scary. Who's ever riding with that person?
Somebody call the cops for her, please.
Yeah.
You got Pit PD out here? Pit PD.
Oh my God, it's my daughter. Alzheimer's.
I think we answered it,
yeah.
Next question.
All
Thank
righty
you.
then. Thank you for that. Yeah. Collective senior moment there. Very nice.
All right, well, hello, Judd, Anthony, happy birthday.
Andrew, thank you.
And of course, Allie and Molly, I want to thank you guys for coming, and I want to say you have all made the Breakfast Club movie so special. It's one of my favorite movies.
Thank you.
Along with 16 Candles and Weird Science.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Hughes.
And let's not forget Pretty in Pink. And also, Allie, just want to quickly say you were wonderful in both WarGames and Short Circuit.
Thank you.
Bad boys.
Okay, so my one big question for all four of you is, what are your fondest memories of working with John Hughes on both The Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, Only the Lonely, and also, Allie, you made a cameo appearance in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. How was it working with John Hughes on all those projects?
What?
Is that your publicist?
No. John Hughes was a lovely, lovely guy. He was. He was a lovely, funny, imaginative guy. And I felt that he trusted us, all of us, on the set. He would just sit there and let the camera roll and let us do our thing. And it's not always like that when you're working. It's not always like it. It doesn't always feel like the director's trusting you as an actor. But with him, I felt completely safe.
People use the term collaboration. They don't mean it. He meant it. He was very clear. He wanted it to sound authentic. If there were lines that we thought were kind of stagey or like something an adult would say, he was like, change it. The script supervisor didn't like it very much. That guy, I think, retired after that movie. He was very angry. But he was just, I didn't realize it, how many directors don't like actors. Hughes liked us. I did not know that was rare. I thought, the directors like actors, don't they? No, not necessarily. But he liked us. And he trusted us. And you look forward to working for a guy like that. There was nothing he could ask me to do that I wouldn't do. You know what I mean? Whatever. If he were alive today and wanted to do a movie, anything he wanted, I'd say yes in a second. Because he liked us. He's really there for us. So you take a risk like that for someone because he took a risk on us, clearly.
How would you describe your experience, Mal?
I loved working with John. I loved what Allie said, and Judd. He was really collaborative. The script was so good and so easy to do. So I would always have the experience where I would just do whatever was written, and then he would say, okay, one for you. You say what you want, And I don't know. He was just, John and I were born on the same day, February 18th, 18 years apart. And I feel like there was a real connection between, like, we would finish each other's sentences, and it was really special. He didn't direct Pretty in Pink; he produced it. Howie Deutsch directed it, but he wrote it, and yeah, I wish that he had been around longer, and I would have had the opportunity to work with him again.
Beautiful. For me, the laughter. I just remember laughing all the time. Yeah. And his love of music. He would make mixtape for us, guys. He would make us mixtapes. He would pick us up. He would take us to record stores. We'd go to dinners. We'd go hear blues music in Chicago. Great city. So to
Kingston
me, the laughter.
Mines.
Yeah, Kingston Mines.
We were doing that take close on Michael. Chicks cannot hold this smoke.
That's what it is.
So we're doing that, and we're shooting on film, not on video. So they have like magazines of film on the camera. And we have a 1,000-foot magazine, the biggest that they could put on a Panavision, which gives you like maybe 5 minutes of length of time.
Days of film. Yeah.
And so he's doing his stuff, and the film runs out. But he's still doing his stuff. We all hear the film run out. It goes click, click, click. Hughes knows that it's not filming, but he doesn't call cut. Because he's in the middle of his like monologue. Of like just doing it off his head. And it's funny, and it's great. And when he takes a natural pause, Hughes goes cut. It's just incredible. And then the crew can laugh finally, because he's funny, so they're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. They can't laugh or it's not a take. And it was just wonderful that Hughes allowed that to happen while we all know. No one went, geez, doesn't he know the film? No, he knows. He just lets him do it.
It was really fun when we would shoot with John. I remember hearing him laugh off camera. He was always, usually now when you're filming, there's something that's called Video Village. There's always a screen. I think kind of Francis Ford Coppola sort of started that, right? At Zoetrope.
Basically watching the film on TVs while we're making it. So they call it Video Village. Yeah.
And it always feels, for me, you always feel a little bit disconnected, as opposed to when we were shooting with John, very often he was just right there. If the camera was there, he was right under it or somewhere around it. And he kind of felt like he was part of it. And it was really gratifying when he would do something and you could hear him laughing.
And also, that quote at the beginning was Allie's idea.
Yeah, that was Allie's idea, as was the sushi. Originally, the meal that my character eats was pasta salad. Right. And Allie said, wouldn't it be funny if it was sushi? And so, yeah, she's responsible for that.
This is when sushi was funny. But you know what? My memory was like, I was a kid growing up, and I really wasn't that into movies and film. I was more into music, and I'd be like listening to Van Halen or The Police in my room. And my heroes are comedians. I loved Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and George Carlin. So I would imitate and bring in old albums of Richard Pryor, and I started imitating him for John. That's how it started, for that scene in the back. We're all getting high, and then it just transferred on to Weird Science. So, but everything, my friends are saying is true. He would just let it happen, and that was one of his great talents, that he was blessed by God to be a great writer and director, but he also allowed things to happen, and that was a great, I think, sense of humility that he had, that he trusted us, as you all said. It was beautiful, and I've never had that since. I've had David Gordon Green is the only guy that I've worked with that's come close to that sort of looseness and just the coolness that John had. And it was always a work in project, and a work in progress rather. And we shared that development as a team. It was really special.
He doesn't throw anyone under the bus. A lot of people protect themselves, even if they're not aware of it. Yeah. We knew, because we know that the studio's not sure about a kid's movie. And we know Hughes is leading the way. Hughes is the icebreaker. We are safe. Under his great shadow, I happily remain. He looked out for us.
Me too.
Thank you for your question.
Both from the bottom of my heart, Judd, Anthony, Allie, and Molly, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Andrew,
man.
thank you. The next Leonard Maltin right there. Yes, sir.
I gotta take off my jacket.
Hi, welcome to Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
We're close. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
So, I just wanted to say that...
Just yell at us.
I just wanted to say that I am in an adult tap class. And
Put the microphone here.
I'm in an adult tap class, and I'm loving it. And we are doing the song, You Are Not Alone. And it's really precious to me, and I'm having a blast. So I was wondering, in your playlist right now, what are you listening to music-wise? in
What
your
are we
place.
listening to?
Yeah, what are you listening to? Because music shapes you like eras of your life. So I was just wondering what era you're in now. What are you listening to?
I listen to a lot of different stuff, and it's one of the big connections I have with I have a 20-year-old daughter, Matilda, and we communicate through text, just sending each other songs. It's a little bit like our version of mixtapes. So I get introduced to a lot of stuff from her, and then I introduce her to stuff. I'm really into, I love jazz music. I love Rufus Wainwright.
Have you heard her sing, by the way? Have you heard her sing? She is a phenomenal jazz singer. I'm not kidding you. Just YouTube her. I'm telling you, it's incredible. You'll be like going, what is that?
Anyway, yeah, I love all different kinds of music, and it's still really important. I also use music a lot too if I'm on set and if I have a really emotional scene. That music is a tool that I use sometimes, because there's nothing like music to get me into a frame of mind. It's like the fastest way to make me really emotional. So I always have my phone there that I listen to. So how about you? What are you into right now?
I listen to a whole range of music, but for some reason lately, this is a very weird answer. I just keep listening to Swan Lake, and I don't know why. So Tchaikovsky, I guess.
Yeah.
I run the range. I love everything from 60s rock, classic rock, 70s, all the way up to, I'm a huge Post Malone fan. I love Kendrick. I love hip hop. I love everything. I love jazz. I really have big ears. And I'm learning to love country too. I love country too. There's a lot of great music out
I like
there.
old country.
Yeah, cool.
Hank Williams, Roger Miller,
Right.
Dolly, of course. I mean, who doesn't love Dolly?
Yeah, Dolly.
Salvador Dali?
That one too.
Thank you for your question.
How about you, Judd? What are you listening to?
Rolling Stones.
Death metal.
Sex Pistols. Suicidal Tendencies. Black Flag. The slow stuff.
I love the Violent Femmes. I got my kids into the Violent Femmes.
What was on the Notebook in
The Rave Ups, yeah, Pittsburgh band. Yeah, well, Jimmer Podrasky was in the Rave Ups, or still in the Rave Ups, and he's from Pittsburgh.
Awesome.
Hi, I love you all, obviously, but this is for Molly. Quickly, I saw you in Sweet Charity here, second row, stage left. It was phenomenal. One of the best musicals I've ever seen in my life.
Wow, thank you.
That outfit, I read that you wish, outfits, you could have that one from this movie. You wish you could have that one. Have you ever thought about a replication or a recreation of it? Because it's a classic piece, you could pull it off.
Which outfit?
The outfit from this movie.
Oh, from the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, from Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I've seen people recreate it. For me, I don't know. That outfit for me is that character. I would love to have the boots now. I would definitely wear the boots. But that whole outfit was Ralph Lauren.
I just want to say my khakis and sweatshirt are available at Target.
Aren't they playing
Anybody
Hollywood?
knows Target out there? I don't want to get too bougie, but there's a Target near you. Just saying.
We have time for just one more question.
We're not tight. We
I'm
got
so
more
sorry,
time,
guys.
don't we? Didn't 90210
Make it
leave?
long. Make it really long question.
We'll make it a long answer.
With
Make it a long.
A, B, and
No
C.
pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure.
My question
Just want to hang out all day here. Can we turn
The
this
answer
into a
is
barbecue?
Emilio. Whatever the question, the answer is Emilio.
Well, perfect. First of all, I want to say thank you for being such a large part of my childhood, and I've went through a lot of tough times, but you guys
Thank
helped
you.
me through it. So thank all four of you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much,
it,
man.
all the movies. My question for you is, do you remember the time when you all first met for the first time? And when was it, and how did that work?
Can we get into your audition? I just want to say this. Judd came into do you remember it, Mal? Were you there in New York?
What, in New York?
Judd's audition. He came in wearing everything he wore in the movie. I swear to you. The long coat, the boots, the dicky pants, the bad attitude, bouncing the ball, fucking with everybody. It was awesome, honestly. Now, give us your take on that, dude. If you want. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I read the script and it was just almost perfect. I understood it. The character made sense to me, a guy who feels he got the short end of the stick from the beginning. He's not trying to raise himself up to their level. He's going to bring them down to his level. And the story's set up that way. He's the only character that's been at detention before. He's not surprised by anything. He's going to be derisive from the beginning to end. The script made perfect sense. So I go in there, and he's the only actor there. There's a casting director, the head of casting Universal, and John Hughes. And they're going to make the casting director read 3 roles. He'll read his, and I'll read for mine. But there's 2 other guys in the room. They should read too, I think. So I tell them they should read. It's the head of casting at Universal and John Hughes. So
just a slightly unorthodox interview and audition.
So
you guys read to me.
It was a bit weird, but they did it because they had to. And then afterwards, I get a call that the director's concerned you're a little bit rough. He's working with actors he's worked with before. They're younger. Maybe that's not going to be good. So we speak on the phone. We have a great conversation, Hughes and I, 45 minutes. I think it's going good. I get a call from the same people saying, there's a problem. Hughes doesn't think the guy on the phone call is the guy that did the audition.
You were like, that was acting.
So I'm told they haven't cast it yet. They're going to see people in Los Angeles. Maybe they'll call you in Los Angeles. And they did. Flew me out to Los Angeles. And then all 4 people were cast already. And 1 stool was left in that room. And then a few actors came in to read for it. And I got lucky.
But Judd and I had already met at another audition. We were talking about this last night. Judd and me and Crispin Glover were doing a terrible scene together. But it was really funny. And my mom actually saw Judd and said, he's incredible. He's amazing. And I talked to...
And then we were married, and it was great.
None of us got that movie, but I think because of that, I feel a little bit responsible.
Absolutely. I mean, at that audition she's talking about, Crispin Glover knew all the lines, but not the characters that we were referring to, so he would make up their names using famous people's names. So I burst laughing.
I just miss your mullet. I really miss that hockey hair. Anyway.
It was good. Sidney Crosby cuts my hair. Come on. That's a great joke. Okay, come on. Penguins are in the playoffs, right? How'd they do last night against the Bruins? I'm from Maine.
I think we're out of time, but thank you so much.
Thank you all very much, man. This is incredibly flattering.
Keep
and
going.
Really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Love y'all. Thank you. Without the audience, there's no us. We love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very
Mic
much.
drop.
They're headed back to their table to sign, photo ops, all that good stuff. Judd Nelson, Michael Anthony Hall, Ali Sheedy, and Molly Ringwald. Thank you. Thank you so much. Cheers. Thank you, sir.
Hi, this is Aaron Ashmore, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe like now. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.